Breaking news: DSS slams terrorism financing, arms charges on former Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, and son. Nigeria has been jolted by a major legal and political earthquake following the filing of a 5-count criminal charge by the Department of State Services (DSS) against a former Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, and his son, Abdulaziz Malami. The charges, which border on terrorism financing, abuse of office, and illegal possession of firearms, mark one of the most serious criminal allegations ever brought against a former chief law officer of the Federation. According to court documents cited by security sources, the DSS alleges that Malami, while serving as Nigeria's Attorney General, knowingly failed, neglected, and refused to prosecute terrorism financiers, despite having their complete case files formally submitted to his office for prosecution. Security officials described this alleged conduct as a deliberate act of abetment capable of undermining national security and emboldening terrorism networks operating within and outside Nigeria. At the heart of the DSS case is the claim that Abubakar Malami used his powerful office to shield suspected terrorism financiers from justice, thereby frustrating counter-terrorism efforts during a crucial period of Nigeria's security crisis. The DSS maintains that, as Attorney General, Malami had both the constitutional responsibility and prosecutorial authority to initiate legal action against individuals allegedly linked to terrorism financing. Instead, investigators allege that he withheld consent for prosecution, stalled legal processes, and failed to act on files that had been properly investigated and forwarded by security agencies. This alleged inaction, according to the DSS, did not merely amount to negligence but constituted active facilitation of terrorism financing, a grave offense under Nigeria's Terrorism Prevention Act. In a separate but equally explosive allegation, the DSS accuses both Malami and his son Abdulaziz of illegal possession of firearms and ammunition, an offense that prosecutors say also falls within conduct preparatory to committing acts of terrorism. The charge sheet lists the items allegedly recovered as 1 Stun Magnum firearm, serial number 17/0101, 16 live Resta AAA 5.20 cartridges, 27 expanded Resta AAA 5.20 cartridges. According to the DSS, the firearm and ammunition were found without any valid license or authorization, in violation of Nigeria's firearms laws. Security experts note that the classification of this offense as conduct in preparation of terrorism significantly raises the legal stakes, as it goes beyond simple unlawful possession and implies potential intent. Abubakar Malami served as Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice from 2015 to 2023 under former President Muhammadu Buhari. During his 8-year tenure, Malami was one of the most influential figures in the Buhari administration, overseeing high-profile corruption cases, constitutional disputes, and sensitive national security prosecutions. However, his time in office was also dogged by persistent controversy, including accusations of selective prosecution, alleged interference in corruption cases, and claims of shielding political allies from legal consequences. Malami consistently denied wrongdoing during his time, insisting that his actions were guided strictly by the law and public interest. Legal analysts say the DSS charges represent a watershed moment in Nigeria's anti-terrorism and accountability framework. Never before has a former Attorney General been formally accused of abetting terrorism financing while in office. Observers note that the case, if successfully prosecuted, could redefine the limits of ministerial immunity, reinforce accountability for top officials, and send a strong signal that no office is above the law. It also raises troubling questions about how deeply terrorism networks may have penetrated state institutions during years of insurgency, banditry, and violent extremism. Under Nigeria's Terrorism Prevention Act, abetting or facilitating terrorism financing carries severe penalties, including lengthy prison sentences and forfeiture of assets. Illegal possession of firearms, particularly when linked to terrorism-related offenses, can also attract long-term imprisonment. Legal experts caution, however, that the prosecution must meet a very high evidentiary threshold, especially given Malami's former position and access to top legal defense teams. The burden will be on the DSS to prove intent, knowledge, and direct responsibility, not merely administrative lapses. As of the time of this report, neither Abubakar Malami nor his son has issued an official public statement addressing the charges. Sources close to the family suggest that legal consultations are ongoing, with a robust defense expected once formal court proceedings begin. Political allies of the former Attorney General of the Federation have described the charges as politically motivated, while civil society groups insist that the allegations must be thoroughly tested in court, not dismissed in the court of public opinion. The development has sparked intense debate across Nigeria's political and security landscape. Human rights advocates are calling for full transparency and due process, while security analysts argue that the case highlights long-standing institutional weaknesses in Nigeria's fight against terrorism. On social media, Nigerians remain sharply divided. Some view the charges as long overdue reckoning, while others warn against weaponizing security agencies for political vendetta. The DSS is expected to formally arraign the defendants in a competent court where the charges will be read and pleas taken. The courts will then determine issues of bail, jurisdiction, and trial timetable. Regardless of the outcome, analysts say the case is already reshaping conversations about power, accountability, and national security in Nigeria. This unfolding legal battle is not just about one former official or his family. It is a defining test for Nigeria's commitment to justice, rule of law, and the fight against terrorism, even when the allegations point to the highest corridors of power. As the case moves from accusations to adjudication, the nation will be watching closely. This is a developing story, so don't forget to subscribe, comment, like, and share our videos. And please put on your notification bell.